So one of my guys just got a new car, and being that I'm the average car guy, he wanted me to take a look at it and tell you guys a little bit about it. Now, I did a video on the Camry, I believe the 2019 Camry, and that was kind of pretty well received, lots of comments, and I thought I would do a competitor video. This is a 2018 Kia Optima, okay? And I gotta say, I'm gonna try to come up with some bad things to say about this car, and I've got a couple on my list, but overwhelmingly, this is a great car. And I absolutely love this paint color. This is a blue color that it comes in, and it's just gorgeous. I mean, this is the kind of color you'd find in much more expensive cars as an option. It's kind of got a very luxury feel to the color, and it's just a gorgeous car. And you know how he got this car? He got a 2018 through a car rental place. So I guess car rental places go through their fleet and swap them out every couple of years. And since this is a 2018, that's you know what happened. It had 30,000 miles on it already, and they gave him a sweet deal on it. They actually gave him a couple of days to try it out at a pretty low rental fee. I believe he got it through Avis, but yeah, I think that's a pretty good way to get a nice used car if you're clever and you know what you're looking for. It's a no haggle pricing model, so it kind of works out. He got a really good deal, a better deal than he could have gotten anywhere else. So I'll stop talking about that, and I'll start talking about some of the things that I feel like this car could have done better. And the main thing is the same thing I would go and talk about literally every car in this class, which is kind of this more economy focused class, is tires. These tires are garbage, okay? They are absolutely garbage. Not only are they loud, and they actually come in the car with these things, and it's a Nexen. If you ever heard of Nexen, it's a Nexen. And you know, they're 16-inch wheels, which, yeah, you know, they're at least it's a real wheel. But you know, I think it's an easy upgrade to go to much nicer tires and maybe go to 17s. I think that would be a pretty good thing. So the thing that sucks about these tires is two things. So I'll count them as two. One is the road noise is absolutely horrendous. Otherwise, the car can be relatively quiet, but the road noise is horrendous. And the handling is absolutely terrible in these tires. Even with a low-powered car, I think this only has 185 horsepower or something like that. Even with a low-powered car, you can kind of lose control around a turn if you're not careful, if it's even a little wet. You know, I think it's a very respectable looking car. It's a very mature looking car, definitely a good family sedan. Plenty of room inside and out. Build quality is really great, I think. The materials are okay. So that's really kind of where the Camry, I think, sets itself apart, is in the types of materials that they use to build their cars. The Camry was just like a real noticeable notch above the Kia Optima anyway. Otherwise, they're pretty identical. Power wise, they feel the same. The Kia feels a little less, it feels more underpowered, so it has a little less power. That's how I feel anyway. And the driver of this car tells me that he always has to drive it in kind of that overdrive or that sports mode or whatnot in order to kind of get a little pep out of it. And you know, that's pretty much what I'll do today when I'm going to drive it around. So I'm going to give it a quick drive, and then I'll share some more thoughts with you. So this is the base model Optima, and you know, it comes with a flip key. If you've seen my other videos, you know how much I just love these flip keys. And my usual complaint is that some cars kind of hide this behind here too much, so you can't really see it, and this is not as much as a problem. So here we go. And getting started. You know, typical interior for this class of cars. The materials are pretty nice. I mean, the sound is kind of deadened a little bit. The plastic doesn't feel too cheap, but again, the Camry was just a step above all of this. If I'm comparing it. So one of the things I'll knock it for is a little bit of the interior materials, but it's not the worst I've ever seen. But like, you know, these door panels are just like really cheap plastic. You have to do this if you want to cut the cost down, which Kia does a really good job of that. I mean, their cars are priced really, really well. So it's a plus and a minus that they do this, really, because, you know, without it, you're not able to put the car out at these types of prices. As I said, this one has 31,000 miles on it. Seems to be running just fine. You had it checked out and everything. Not a lot of luxuries inside. You're really just looking at it. It's an automatic, and if I go to the back seat here, you know, plenty of room in the back. The seats have this kind of this nice like Gore-Tex feel to them. Kind of a very synthetic. You can tell it's not going to stain at all, and it's going to be easy to clean. It's probably going to last a very, very long time. And they're still in really good shape. I mean, after 31,000 miles, they show zero sign of wear. So that's a really good thing. So I'm going to take it for a quick drive here and give you my opinion, because I know that's why you're here. All right, so this is the backup cam. Pretty good. It's got that kind of like prediction path thing going on so that it highlights the path that you're going. That's pretty nice. It's got pretty good get up and go. The brakes are a little too responsive for me, like a little too sensitive. But that's something you usually get used to as you drive a car. Okay, so I did a quick drive, and sorry that I didn't film the drive. I was just trying to be safe. I don't have my mount here with me today, and this was kind of an opportunity quick review. But I can tell you a couple of things that I think really matter. So like, you know, if you're choosing between this and the Camry, I still like the Camry a lot more because I feel like the quality of the materials and things like that are nicer. It has a little bit more power. This is somewhat underpowered, but actually not too bad. I feel like not underpowered to the point of safety being an issue. That's usually where, you know, I draw the line with power. Obviously, these aren't meant to be like sport cars or whatever. But couple of minor complaints. One of my complaints is the air, you know, the climate control, right? So the climate control, and I don't even think there is any sort of climate control for the rear. There isn't any. That may be an option, but if you go back here, there is no way to control the climate of the car in the rear. So your rear passengers are gonna pay the price. Yeah, that sucks. So there's no rear climate control. You should keep that in mind if you're buying this car and you have kids and you live in a hot place or a cold place. So you're gonna have to heat up the whole car. And that's actually the real problem with it, is there's really no way to pick like a real comfortable spot. Like I tried, okay? I've got this on a 1, which actually blows kind of still a little too hard for a 1 out of 4. So that's 0, which means it's shut off. 1, it's on. And I couldn't find a decent place to put this. So over here, it's over, like here is way too cold for where I am right now. Here is also still a little too cold. I want it to be not as cold, but when I go here, it's not cold at all. So that, I kind of feel like I'm a little spoiled with higher end cars that have like an auto mode and you set your exact temperature that you want. And I believe you could get that exact temperature probably out of this mix. Maybe if I go up here and down here or something, but then it gets a little too, yeah, it's tough to get the temperature that you really want. I didn't feel like I had that problem with the Camry, and I had the Camry for several days, and I already see that problem here. The other problem I see with this car that I didn't really like is, although it accelerates fine and it brakes fine, the brakes are a little sensitive, and you know that usually, like I said, will take some getting used to, and you'll get used to it. But the thing I didn't like is how much body roll it has. So if I'm going around just curvier roads, you know, left and right, just kind of windy roads, which is what I did just now. There's a little bit of a wind to the road that I was on, and you could really feel the body roll around those turns unless you slowed way the heck down. And that, to me, can be a safety issue, especially when you got tires as bad as these are. So one of the things I would say is, if you decide to go this route and buy the Ultima, I'm sorry, the Optima, not the Ultima. If you buy the Optima, you know, maybe change out those tires right away, but that's not going to help you with the body roll issue. That's something that you're probably stuck with, because you're not going to go upgrade the suspension on a you know, economy car like this. So, other than that, you know, that not a lot more complaints. Just the cheap materials in the inside, I feel like it's a little much, but they do feel sturdy. They do feel well put together. I don't hear any rattling or noises coming from the materials. The road noise is mostly from the tires, not from anything else. There's plenty of storage in the car, and here, for example. And, you know, plenty of storage in the glove box. The doors have plenty of storage, and they each have a cup holder too, in addition to the two cup holders that you see here. Now this one, the air fresheners, and it's making me cough a bit. That apparently, since this was a rental car, it had a little bit of a smell to it, and he's put those in here to combat that smell. You got your little sunglass holder. Visors are nice, and they do pass the visor test, which is nice. Yeah, it's quite nice car for the price. I don't think you could do a lot better for the price, honestly. It's everything you really want out of a sedan, and it looks nice and respectable. It doesn't look like a piece of crap, so you can't go wrong. You got your USB connection to, you know, your Android Auto business here. The other thing I heard actually from the driver himself is that he's not getting the gas mileage that he thought he would get out of this car. It's still quite good, but it's certainly lower than what's advertised. So that's one of those things, if you drive aggressively, is usually the case, but he swears that he's not driving aggressively, and that is just what's happening. I believe this is the parking controls or something like that. It's called BSD. Not sure what that is. Maybe one of you guys can tell me in the comments. I'm sure it's the parking sensors, but it could be something else. It has cruise and, you know, phone, Bluetooth, all the junk you're used to, and stereo sounds okay, nothing great. And then another thing is, like, I still don't get this. So you got auto window down, but not auto window up, which seems like that would be like $1. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. And it only applies to the auto window down is only for the driver window. The passenger doesn't get that, and neither do any of the rear passengers. So that's just another thing that I don't like about it. Otherwise, you know, pretty good car. I don't know if this mirror does auto dimming. It doesn't look like it to me. It looks like just the standard mirror, but I could be wrong. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, click subscribe. I know I didn't do the best job for you this time. Just some quick opinions on the Kia Optima, but would love to hear your comments as to what I may have gotten wrong, how I could, address some of the issues that I didn't like, and what your thoughts are on the Kia Optima in general. Thanks for tuning in, and see you in the next video.